Welcome to The Explainer. I'm your host, your strategist for today, and we are embarking on a fascinating journey to completely conquer Cambridge Information Technology 9626. Specifically, we're zooming in on Section 2.4, off-the-shelf software uses by individuals and organizations. But we aren't just going to read through syllabus points today. No, our goal is much more ambitious. We are going to engineer the perfect DNA of a Cambridge exam answer. The core concept is simple but incredibly powerful. Evidence plus analysis equals an A-star. Let me set the scene for you. Imagine a real Cambridge computer science past paper question, something like a classic 0417 code paper that tests foundational knowledge. You usually have two types of candidates. First, you have Alex. Alex overloads the paper with raw computer science facts, writing furious paragraphs of technical jargon, but provides absolutely zero analysis. Then you have Sam. Sam rushes through the paper, completely missing the specific command word requirements, answering the question they wish was asked instead of the one right in front of them. When they get their papers back, it is just a sea of red pen marks. Their flawed answers side by side are a masterclass in what not to do. If you have ever felt like Alex or Sam, knowing the material but missing the marks, you are in the right place. We are going to upgrade your approach from simple rote memorization into the kind of high-level analytical thinking that secures those top-tier grades.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our exact roadmap for today's masterclass. Think of this agenda as your ultimate examiner's playbook. We are going to start with examiner warnings to see where the traps are. Then, we move into core IT principles. From there, we tackle the method mark strategy, followed by technical methodology. And finally, we will cap it all off with critical analysis for an A-star. This is the exact sequence you need to reduce your exam anxiety and build bulletproof responses. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The examiner's top warnings. This is where we establish the incredibly high stakes of what principal examiners are actually looking for when they grade your paper, and exactly where thousands of students lose incredibly easy marks every single year.
Look closely at this quote straight from the source material. The difference between a B and an A-star in information technology often comes down to how well you understand 2.4 off-the-shelf software. I need you to really absorb that. This isn't just another random syllabus bullet point that you can skim over. Principal examiners grade thousands of papers across all the Cambridge syllabus codes, and they consistently note that this specific topic is the ultimate battleground. Why? Because mastering the foundational principles of off-the-shelf software requires you to bridge the gap between abstract theory and real-world application. It tests whether you actually understand how individuals and sprawling organizations use these tools to solve complex problems. It is the ultimate differentiator between a good student and an elite student.
So what are the biggest mistakes dragging grades down? According to the official principal examiner reports, there are 3 massive pitfalls you need to avoid at all costs. These are the exact traps that our typical students Alex and Sam fall into. First, examiners report that students frequently confuse cause and effect. For instance, blaming a software's core programming rather than analyzing how the end user poorly implemented it. Second, students just forget to check their format and presentation. You could have brilliant ideas, but if you format a management report like a casual text message, you lose marks. And third, and this is Sam's biggest flaw, providing answers that are not specific to the given context. Simply dumping generic facts without tailoring them to the specific business scenario in the prompt will absolutely destroy your mark potential. You have to adapt your knowledge to the scenario.
Section 2. Mastering core IT principles. This is where we start building your defensive strategy against those examiner warnings. But before we continue and reveal exactly how to structure your answers, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at acetheexams_IGCS to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon right now. Okay, let's break down the computer science-specific assessment objectives. To master these core principles across syllabuses like 0478, 2210, 9618, and our main focus today, 9626, you must understand the PEAL framework. That stands for Point, Evidence, Explanation, and Link. This is the structural skeleton of every single A-star answer. You make your point, you back it up with evidence from the scenario, you provide an explanation of the technical mechanics, and you link it back to the specific demands of the command word. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the stark contrast it shows. Look at the B-grade superficial breadth on the left versus the A-star analytical depth on the right. This is Alex's problem visualized. Alex will give you superficial breadth. Alex will define what a spreadsheet is, define what a database is, and maybe list a few off-the-shelf software brands. That is a B-grade approach because it is isolated. An A-star approach, utilizing the PEL framework, shows connected conceptual understanding. It's about taking that off-the-shelf software knowledge and making cross-topic connections. How does the choice of software impact data privacy? How does it affect the organization's network infrastructure? Top students build a web of interconnected knowledge, proving to the examiner that they understand the holistic impact of an IT decision.
But let me ask you this, and I want you to really think about it. Put yourself in the exam hall. The clock is ticking down. You are sweating over a complex data scenario involving spreadsheet modeling for an organization. You've applied the principles, but in the final seconds, you make a simple calculation error or misuse a syntax rule right at the very end. What happens? Do you get a 0 for that entire massive question? Does all that hard work just vanish?
The answer is a resounding, absolute no. Method marks can save you. This is the examiner's secret lifeline, and frankly, one of the most reassuring facts you will learn today. The examiners are not just robots looking for a single correct number at the bottom of the page. They are academic professionals looking to reward your analytical process. The journey is just as important as the destination. If your final output is slightly off because of a minor slip, but your methodology is sound, you are still capturing the vast majority of the points available.
Let's move to Section 3 and see how this builds into something actionable. We call this the method mark strategy. This is the turning point where we start taking those tragic red pen marks that Alex and Sam received and transforming them into beautiful green check marks. We are rewriting the approach right now, and the key is making your invisible thoughts visible to the examiner.
I want to emphasize this direct examiner alert pulled straight from the source text. Students lose marks by not showing working. Even if your final answer is wrong, method marks can save you. This means you must, absolutely must, get into the habit of systematic processing. You need to identify the key elements of the problem, apply the relevant technical principles, and execute your analysis with abundantly clear working. If your final answer is totally wrong, those method marks are your safety net. Never, ever leave an examiner guessing how you arrived at your conclusion. If they have to guess, they cannot award you the mark. Spell it out for them step by step.
Section 4. Data and Technical Methodology. We are transitioning now into the practical application phase. It is time to look at exactly how to systematically approach a complex problem from a past paper without panicking. The source outlines a strict procedural framework for exam questions, and it is a blueprint for success. Step 1. Deconstruct the question. Pay attention to the command words. Are they asking you to describe, evaluate, or compare? Step 2. Extract the relevant data from the prompt. Step 3. Select your analytical framework, like the Peel method we discussed. Step 4. Execute with clear notation showing all your working. And Step 5. Present with correct terminology. Following these exact steps guarantees professional presentation and proper annotation. Now, stop scrolling. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. We've helped thousands of students improve by 2 to 3 grade boundaries. Join them right now by subscribing to acetheexams_IGCSE and turn on all notifications so you never miss our weekly exam strategy sessions. So, let's put this into practice with a quick interactive workshop. Imagine a complex computer science data source on the screen right now. A dense data table comparing 3 different off-the-shelf software packages. You have a 60-second mental timer. What is the crucial point here? Your data interpretation skills. First, you have to extract the data accurately from those texts and tables, but you absolutely cannot stop there. That is what Alex does. Alex just repeats the table back to the examiner. You must interpret the complex relationships. Why is software A cheaper but requires more training than software B? And finally, you must synthesize that into an evidence-based conclusion. Extracting data is only half the battle. Drawing meaning from it is what scores the mark.
We have finally arrived at the climax of the explainer. Section 5, Critical Analysis for an A-star. This is Challenge 2 of our mental workshop, Finding the Flaw. If you want to hit the absolute highest grade boundary, you must move from mere analytical execution to high-level evaluation.
Let's do Challenge 3, Speed Writing. Look at the contrast here between a descriptive answer and an evaluative answer. A flawed sample paragraph might just say, the organization should buy this software because it has a cloud storage feature. That is pure description. An A-star student writes an evaluative answer. They write, while the cloud storage feature offers remote accessibility, it introduces severe data sovereignty risks compared to an on-premise solution, meaning the initial cost savings are outweighed by potential compliance fines. Do you see the difference? The evaluative response questions assumptions, considers different perspectives, and justifies its ultimate decision. It uses that Peel framework flawlessly. Point made, evidence provided, explanation detailed, and perfectly linked to the business scenario.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what a complete comparative analysis requires. This is your formula. First, you must identify similarities and differences, not just one or the other. Second, you must use comparative connectives, words like whereas, conversely, or on the other hand. These signal to the examiner that you are actively weighing options. Third, support every single comparison with evidence from the text. And fourth, draw conclusions about their relative importance. Never just list two separate points in parallel paragraphs without connecting them. You have to smash them together and evaluate which factor is more critical for the specific organization in the question.
I want to reiterate this incredibly powerful quote from the source material. Top-scoring candidates demonstrate evaluative thinking by questioning assumptions, considering different perspectives, and justifying decisions with evidence. To be a top-scoring candidate, you have to act like a highly paid IT consultant brought into the company. A consultant doesn't just read the manual to the CEO, they evaluate alternatives. They look at the problem from the perspective of the everyday user who might hate the new software, and from the perspective of the management team trying to cut costs. You have to juggle these perspectives and make justified recommendations.
Now we have covered a massive amount of dense terminology today regarding 2.4 off-the-shelf software and exam strategy. To help you manage this, the Examiner's Playbook offers a fantastic memory hack. Create a mnemonic using the first letters of the key terms you need to remember for specific software features or evaluation criteria. It is a highly practical, surprisingly effective way to ensure you don't freeze up and blank on the core concepts when the exam timer is ruthlessly counting down. Build your mnemonics during your revision so they are hardwired into your brain on exam day.
We have completely unpacked the entire computer science answering system today. We covered the 3 rules that guarantee top marks: command word decoding to avoid Sam's mistakes, Peel framework application to fix Alex's raw fact dumping, and a time management matrix to keep you on track. The only question left is, how will you engineer the perfect DNA of your next ID 9626 answer? Students who implement these computer science strategies see an average improvement of 2 whole grade boundaries, but that is only if they practice consistently with our weekly videos. So here is your final reminder. Subscribe to our YouTube channel Ace the Exams at @acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Subscribe right now to @acetheexams_IGCSE and click that bell. Don't let another exam pass you by. Drop a comment below with your exact target grade for computer science and the absolutely biggest challenge you are facing right now. Our team responds to every single comment. Like and share this explainer with a study partner. Ace the Exams. Your Cambridge success starts here.